This town is nothing but ghosts, and is now covered in more dredge bodies too. Remarkably, as you're about to leave, you find an old man sitting quietly in a tattered market stall, with a couple items in front of him. He hums to himself as if nothing were wrong, and seems to be in shock. Your clansmen gather around him. You gather him into the caravan before you leave. Same items as before, no supplies. Alright. Well, I guess Crumb will replace him for one battle. Alright, so where were we? Ahead you find what appears to be a good number of peasants surrounded by brigands. One of the armed men looks over his shoulder and says, "Gods be damned, this is all I need. Listen, don't interfere and one of these supply wagons is yours. While remaining silent, the peasants plead with you, plead to you with their eyes. So back away or die, what's going on here, or accept the offer. Supplies would be good. Morale's already super low. I'm gonna accept the offer, take the supplies. My morale's already as low as it's gonna go, so sorry guys. You nod and a few of your men take hold of the supply wagon, bring it to the caravan. Other clansmen take a bit of coaxing. They eventually turn their backs to the scene and move on, but in lower spirits. I can actually afford to rest a couple days if I need to heal Gunnulf. So welcome to the stream pit. Hope your day's going well. Don't know if you're staying in the same time zone, but welcome to the Breakfast Saga. So the gods going for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Ivor shoos some children away from solitary dredge, Slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that? You ask Ivor, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Hours pass without warning. Let's inspect the godstone. So Ingrid's godstone is carved with ancient runes, which don't make much sense to you, though Ivan tells you some of the menders have deciphered them. It's how the menders had learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contains more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Ivan doesn't know how to read it. Do no good, he says. So pack up and move on. As you're readying to depart, you hear screams from near the main godstone. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment, you think it must not have been dead, but then you see they have opened a wrappings that was in the dredge's hands. Wait, says Ivor, his arms across her chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. Alette pushes past and gasps. Stop, shouts Ivor, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Leave it. On the ground before the dead Slinger is a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. The dredge is a woman? We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time. Leaving them to die? In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting these dredge the whole way. Why are women and children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading, they're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness, something black is covering the world, and the dredge are running from it, just as we've been running from them. The serpent, the quake. It's all the beginning of the end. Ivor, you knew. Why? Why didn't you say something? Ivor? When I was young, I killed one of the Sunder, during the Second Great War. We called it raise. Every time we would build our defenses, it would flatten them, push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the Varl, and stumbled upon Raise deep in a snowstorm. Alone, she was nursing. I threw my axe, it twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed the Sunder. When I found my way to Grofheim, the Varl wanted to make me Kender, next to be king. I left, walked until I ended up at Skoger, where no one knew what I had done. The only sound is the wind blowing through the trees. For a long time, nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby? She asks. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the small obsidian creature squirming before you. Let's take it with us. Insist on taking it with the caravan. You argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agree to take the dredge infant, while others are furious about bringing it along. Not long afterward, one of the women come to you. Its swaddling was being held by this, she says, giving you a hairpin that looks distinctly undredge-like. An inscription on the silver almost slips your notice. Persevere. From the goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman tells you. So let's take a look at that brooch. You're making the usual rounds when you hear a rather loud debate coming from the area that Varl have gathered. Ivor joins you as you approach. Ubin, you'd rather be known for falling asleep and dying in the corner of a meat house than battling a Sunder? No, I'd rather be known for not dying. Don't even know what you're worried about. I did this 100 times in the Great Wars. Take some warriors, plow headfirst into the dredge, they follow you into the hills, get lost, and now they're not following you. When you did this 100 times, did they have Bellower leading them? Have you never heard about the time I hit Bellower in the head with a throwing axe? What's this about? Careful, my friend. A lot of old history getting thrown around here. The warriors were just noting that there's a damn good number of dredge on our asses. Bellower is pulling up the rear. This one thinks he can just wander up there, throw them off our tracks. How about some gratitude? Thought you'd be happy to finally beat oldest Varl in the land, Ubin. I'm never happy to lose more Varl, Crumb. Besides, I'm not convinced you're really older than me. Well, I'll leave it to you. Leave my ass. You must be used to Ivor following your lead. In the old days, I'd already be halfway to the battlefield by now. Speaking of which, you coming, Ingvar? You could ask Bellower for your arm back. Don't think so. Not exactly in the mood right now. Alright then. You tell Hadberg. I'll tell Hadberg you said hello. Crumb and a good many Varl warriors head out towards the growing army of dredge. Is he going to come back? He always has before. This time it feels different, I fear. So now we're down to 13 Varl. We'll see if they ever make it back to us. So much for swapping Crumb in for that next fight. An old man sits astride an overgrown portion of the trail. You lost, you ask? He adjusts the leather strap on his head and says, No, are you? He jumps up and shuffles towards the caravan, his tattered clothes revealing no weapons. Well, I've seen better, the old man says, peering into the supply wagons, but I'll join you. He stands next to a fighter, throws his beard over his shoulder, and puffs up his chest. The fighter grins, and the stranger exhales, asking, What are we waiting for? Lead the way. We've already got enough mouths to feed. You're welcome to join if you can keep pace. Or who are you and what are you doing out here? So, you're welcome to join if you can keep pace. If fantasy has taught me anything, lone stranger, old lone stranger on the road is probably a wizard. So, you're welcome to join if you can keep pace. Keep pace, the old man puffs through his mustache. No fleeter than old Onar. And husbands, mind your wives. I'm cursed with the golden tongue, not silver. The caravan enjoys a good laugh as they start moving once again. Oh. Gather round, doubters, echoes a shout in the distance as Crumb and his band of warriors break through nearby foliage. And behold the invincible Varl. The caravan is thrilled to see Crumb return safely. Did the plan work? Asked Ubin. Work, responds Crumb. Of course it works. Same old dredge. Should be another day or two at least before they ever find our asses. So we lost 4 Varl, but definitely worth it. And if you apologize, I'll tell you how I found these, Crumb says, tossing you a pair of leather gloves that look big enough for a Varl. He leans in close, whispering so Ubin can't hear. Had something to do with a raven's nest and a hair tie. Okay, so what did we get here? So you have the silver brooch from the last godstone. 1 strength resist, given as a charm by the gods Ingrid to ward off disaster. So I believe that's just take 1 less damage from attacks. We have our puzzle box, 1 will per turn, plus 3 willpower. Great when we have low morale. Dunder's hand, which is just plus 3 strength. Damn. That's really good. Since we're here, let's see. Let's promote a let up. Cool. We'll give her another strength. And a little bit of armor. I think our last stat for her is going to be armor and exertion. So that she can move farther on the battlefield, get her into better positions. So lock that in. What do we have for level 3 items? So we have the brooch. Or do double damage. So I don't mind the double damage on Rook. We'll give her the brooch for now. No one else is using it. We could give her plus 1 will per turn, but I don't think we'll be using her puncture that often. Let's see here. Any other promotions? We got a ton of renown. So we'll promote Rook. Get him a bunch more armor. Lock that in. Let's promote him up to 5 since we got it. And I think we'll do this as well. I think willpower will end up just getting it from either good morale or kills on the battlefield and using the horn. So we'll lock that in. So let's give him that plus 3 strength. He's gonna be at 21. He's gonna wreck everything. Which leaves 1 to aggro, 1 to strength, 1 to armor, 1 to will. I guess Ivor would be pretty good with that, but he already has that plus 3 armor break. This 1 will per turn plus 3 willpower would be great on Ivan actually. So we'll do that. So that leaves 15% to dodge. The 5 right. Well, I guess that's all we will be doing now. We'll get Ivor his kills, try to get 1 more on Alette as well. Down to 3 days of supplies. Hopefully we can make it to Sicker Home and get something there.
As Sigurholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud home sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake.
Oh.
What has the rest of the world become on the other side of those mountains?
So one catastrophe to another, says Oddleaf as you pull into Sugar Home. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from their dark windows, and makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, says Ivan, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here, and you get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of the question. The beach is bare. Aside from the occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat, you reluctantly set up camp in the sinking town. All I'm saying is, how long are you willing to wait? While taking stock of caravan, you inadvertently walked into a debate between Oddleaf and Ivan. As long as we need to. And I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the wastes. I'm sorry, Ivan. I think Oddleaf's right. I saw a man the whole time we were setting up who was just watching me. In a creepy way. And how long before the dredge finds us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time, Rook. Listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. Okay. So what do we have in the market? Ring of the Wolf. Protect from death unless strength is 1. +1 will on rest. +1 will per kill. So we have much better items right now. Protect from death unless strength is 1. This is actually pretty good, but... Let's see here. Let's talk to that. You're really worried about her, aren't you? Wait, oh, Juno? Word doesn't begin to describe it. If she doesn't find us here, or something has happened to her, are you sure what you saw was real? It could have been a dream, or I don't know. You're pretty exhausted. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure anymore. Everything is a blur. Don't tell the others I said that, though. I have to hope it just wasn't a dream. How exactly does weaving work, anyway? Well, the hardest part is usually seeing the threads. Everything is part of the tapestry. It's made of threads woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it, really. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some menders carve intricate patterns in the wood to help them remember the shapes of, like I said, hard to explain. Why is Belor still following us? I saw Grafheim as it burned. Ivan gets a faraway look in his eyes. The thunder blew through it like a tempest. The Varl fell in the thousands. Most of the Sundred left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to, or heading towards our burning. Belor stayed in Grafheim, just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Enartoft, I thought he must want to wipe out the Varl off the map completely. But then he came after us. Maybe he knew Ivor was the one who killed Reyes. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. Do you think it's the end of times? I don't know what to think. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escape the dredge, that serpent set of darkness was covering the world. I don't know how long it'll take, or what that means. I'm just trying to solve one problem at a time. The Menders are in Arborang. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. I won't take any more time. No, it's okay, Rogue. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spend all day worrying about serpents or Sunder. I think a lot of people are intimidated, or scared maybe, of me. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending. So I think we just buy a bunch of supplies and we hit the road. We don't really have that many. Rourke, wait please, Ivan begs. She said she'd be here. We need her. You can tell he's terrified of leaving, as though he'd be giving up on Juno. I'm sure she'll catch up with us. Ivan looks out across the lake. With a 1,000-mile stare, he says nothing. We've got problems, says Ivor. The whole place is flooded. We could try to walk the muddy parts, but it'll be slow going. We could try to float the caravan over the lake, but we might tip or get stuck. Or we could just go around the whole thing, but no idea how long that'll take. What do you think? Let's pay some locals to help us out. The locals become a lot more helpful when you swallow your pride and start offering food for help crossing the river. They give you small fishing boats to borrow and show you the area with the best chance of making it across. You hope your luck holds out as you launch from the shore. Despite, or you suspect, because of your vigilance, the locals from Sugarholm don't try anything underhanded as they take you out in their small boats to the other side of the lake over several trips. You leave them with a generous amount of food and they row back to their town. You hope it's worth it to buy some space from Belor. You'll have to drag his armies through the mud on foot. So it looks like we're going to be stuck. A flurry of snowfall seems to come out of nowhere, and quickly thickens until you're unable to see the man in front of you. You shout out a complete halt, but the screaming winds drown out the sound. A day passes before the blizzard abates and clansmen start to reappear from the snowdrifts. It quickly becomes apparent that not everybody is where you last saw them, and a quick search of the area is not enough to recover all the missing clansmen. Let's commit to an hour more of searching before departing. While calling out for missing family and friends, the clansmen trample the snow into a boggy slush. Any chance of finding tracks are soon lost, and the caravan slowly submits to their solemn failure. Damn. And we lost a day of supplies again. It's not looking good. More supplies missing, the woman by the wagon says to you. And look, tracks. Right here they look like children's footprints. But my husband and I followed them into the wilderness a ways. They meet up with some adult tracks, no telling how many. So let's keep an eye on the children. Some parents complain deeply while others approve the decision. Regardless, you check the wagons every morning and the supplies remain consistent. It seems like whoever it was has given up on extra food. Now everyone starves to death for the next week. The villagers here are completely oblivious to the destruction that is coming. All we've seen is some dark figures far off, they tell you. Aside from a few young families, they're reluctant to pick up their things and join you. Well, that's okay. We just want to buy all your food. If everything looks good, the price shouldn't be high. And that attack's never deflected. So they have a level 5 item here for 20% dodge strength attacks, plus 2 strength. It's pretty good, but it's also 25 renown, and we really need food. So let's see here. Let's grab 10 renown worth of food. This is 20. We're gonna need the 20 to promote people anyway, so we'll take that. 8 days worth. We're gonna do another heavy march. So our fights are gonna be tougher. We're gonna have less willpower, but I think we can do all right. Maybe once we get to our end destination, we can rest, but. So no encouragement or tales of glory will lift the spirits of the caravan. In the north, we have times like this, says one of the varl. The other giants grin, raising tankards and hordes of meat. Scowl, they shout, and make short work of their drinks, explaining that each person takes a drink when someone tells a story that is more miserable than the last. Others join them for the second round, and meat is passed your way. So leave the others to their drinking day. This will only make things worse. Join the giants. We just bought all these supplies, and now we're gonna just have to throw a huge party, I guess. So taking the mead, you shout scowl. The crowd cheers and laughter echoes through the camp for hours, as each person comes up with increasingly more absurd stories of woe. The varl's remedy is a success, and the caravan is in a much better mood the following day, albeit hungover with less mead than before. So we only lost 1 day of supplies, and we gained some morale, which actually lasted more than 1 day, so maybe it was worth it. Thieving bastards, you awaken to hear. The small band of outlaws who had previously joined the caravan made off with a substantial number of supplies while everyone slept. A watchman tells you, why in the depths were they allowed to join us to begin with? Damn it. Shit. Just like that, 6 days of supplies gone. Don't starve. The imposing godstone of Jorov approaches. His severe visage makes him feel like he's watching you even now. The caravan spreads out, happy to be free of the confining forest and in open fields. Hogan pulls you aside to show you some red berries growing on an ash tree that looks like it was chopped down long ago. These shouldn't be growing here, he says excitedly. I haven't seen these in a long time. He and Mogan busily go about collecting the berries. In fact, in honor of Jorov, some of the caravan crack kegs of mead and wine before anyone can stop them. To the only god that matters, they shout. Everyone drinks, and you're glad for the merriment that has swept up the caravan. So, let's join Hogan and collect these berries. Hopefully they'll give us enough supplies to live. So what exactly are these? You ask Hogan. When I would travel to Bosgard with my father, sometimes he'd buy us a few of these, Hogan replies. Couldn't be a luckier find, see for yourself. You try one and can feel energy returning to your tired limbs. Not taking a few more would be a wasted opportunity, you figure. As the hour becomes late, the caravan is eventually ready to get back on the road. The day by Jorov's stone is one of the few memories that hasn't been tarnished by the specter of bad fortune, you think to yourself. So yeah, so we gained the Tistleberries, but unfortunately they didn't count towards the supplies, they counted as an item. So let's see what that item is. So level 2 item, 2 will on rest. Yeah, it's not amazing, but it's not horrible. Alright. A scout returns with a nearly frozen child. I almost stepped on her in the snow. Looks like she must have been running from something, he says. Patches of blue model her pale skin, but her chest rises and falls ever so slightly. Even just carrying her along could kill her in a state like this, says a woman. We could be in danger here, points out another. Keep moving, but let the healers tend to her. Stop the caravan and rest and tend to the girl, or stop and look for other survivors. Well, we're about a day out of Renovik. We can stop for the day. We probably will lose morale and some fighters, though. But I think down the road this helps us. As the caravan's tents rise, a fire is built beside the girl, who is covered in furs and ointments. Progress is slow, but soon you see the girl alive enough to swallow water and some heated broth. When you wake the next day, a healer tells you the girl should be fine in time. So, 3 fighters, 2 Varl.
Rainvik is more of a smattering of farmhouses than a proper town. Though judging by stray dredge stalking through empty fields, it is barely even that anymore.
Renovik comes and goes as a long series of farmhouses, abandoned and crawling with dredge. The farmers have probably already fled to Boasgard. You try to hurry past, but are eventually spotted. Dredge start ambling in your direction. What is that? Points out Oddleaf, up near one of the longhouses. In the distance, a large person, clothes seemingly covered in blood, is cursing loudly and stumbling about. He staggers into a longhouse, laughing. The dredge heading your direction turn back, roaring, and begin to pound on the longhouse door. They seem to be holding a grudge against this particular person. You doubt the door will hold long. Leave quickly while your luck holds, or rush to help. So we will rush to help. Against my better judgment, we should probably do something, you say. The others agree, even though it means putting them all at risk. As you quietly approach, the dredge manage to splinter the door and break through. Hey, Shesavara, wearing all red, standing up on the other side of the dredge. Came all the way up here just for me? He seems unconcerned about the dredge as he hoists his enormous sword. We got Scarlet Feather. +2 movement, -1 drawing aggro. That'd actually be really good on Gunnulf. But for now, we'll just give him that extra strength. We're going to give him extra aggro, extra strength, extra armor. 1 to all. He's already level 5. He excels at exerting, so I guess he's going to be very mobile. Let's see here. Yeah, so we'll give him this vibrant necklace. So apparently he needs to be in the party. Okay. So take him. We'll take Gunnulf. We will take Ivor, Eggle, Rook, and Alette. Ivan's gonna sit this one out. So we're gonna try to get Ivor a couple kills. Same on her. So we got quite a few ranged enemies here. Alright. So let's get going here. So Sig has a lot of movement. We're gonna send him straight to the back and hit these two ranged guys. Because it's pretty much the ranged enemies that'll be chipping us most of our armor and doing most of our damage here. So we'll do Tempest, hit both of these guys, already bring them down to half health. And then they scatter. Our big gun off with 21 attack right now. It's just gonna walk up and hit their biggest threat. While he's at it, he'll do 1 damage over here. Perfect. And then there's also the splash attack hitting each other. Eggle's gonna move right on up. Do some armor break over here. Ivor's gonna start shredding this tank. Rook's gonna walk up and use Mark of Prey to get Gunolf to attack again, doing more damage here. We're gonna do level 2, so he goes down to 16. So he's gonna take 5 damage from Gunolf. And Alette too. Nice. Okay, so who can we kill here? So if you move her up behind, Gunolf will be going next and could block. Body block for Alette. She will be in range of this guy, who's going next. We would do 1 damage to her. So we're not going to move her too far up. I guess we'll just... let's see here. Move her here. And break some armor. So right now he's going to do 8. If we take off 1 more armor, we'll do 9 damage next turn. Next attack. So that's fine. I'm not really worried about Sivhorn falling in this battle. We don't have any willpower, because I guess he used 2 on movement. So that's kind of unfortunate. I think we just rest, gain back the will, and then he'll spin if he can. Oh, he's down. There you go. Okay. So 9 would take him out of the fight. Let's do that. Get some willpower in our horn, because we are in desperate need. Let's put him right in the middle of the fight. Get him tanking. Ivor's gonna move up, shred some more armor, hopefully not get completely knocked back again. Nice. Weaken this guy. Ouch. So let's see, how far does this pin go? I'm gonna move her up here and do this thread the needle attack. So I'm gonna hit all these units. I would hit Eggo, but right now he's tanking, so he'll be able to tank the damage. And I'm gonna apply 2 armor break to both of these enemies. Plus, I think his strength damage as well. Yeah, so there we go. 2 and 3 on her. Oh no! Okay. So she resisted 1 strength damage, but she still took quite a bit. So let's walk on in, take out this enemy. Alright. This one really needs to die. Let's just thin them out. Who's attacking next? Him. Let's safe from him. This guy has quite a bit of armor break. If we can get in range to kill him, that would be good. So we can do it from here. So we'll do that. Because we don't like that 3. And crit for 6. Okay. So this one has 1, so we'll go. How far can you? He's gonna move next. With 8, he can deal 3 damage. If I move here, I'll be out of range of this guy, and I can still hit my target. It does for open to range attacks from this guy, which is just as bad, honestly, but maybe one of our other members can hit him and have him run away. Nope. It's only a 60% shot, but let's hope. There you go. It's not as good, but so he's gonna walk up, spin on these 2. Okay. Let's shred all this guy's armor. Oh shit, it's gonna hurt. Let's attack him. He's got 2 exertion. Let's use it all, put him down to 1. Alright. She has 3 to 2. Okay. I'd really like to get into range with him, but I don't think I'll be able to make it. I'm gonna rest her. He's gonna walk in and weaken this guy here so he doesn't kill Ivor in this next turn. Perfect. He's gonna walk in and just hold here to stop him from coming over and hitting Alette. Ivor will take out this guy. Rook's just gonna break armor here so that Alette can finish him off. If she can get into range, that is. She can't. She can hit here. Right now, we don't really need the willpower, so we'll just, who knows, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Nope. Okay. So, unfortunately, we have to do this because Ivor goes down if we don't. And I guess I spoke too soon, because there we have it. Now I need that willpower. So Ivor's gonna go down here. Damn. But now it's too late, so might as well give it to him. Damn. Spoke too soon. I think that's like 4 times now where I just let my guys take injuries to try to get promotions.